Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ajay and today we are going to learn about identifiers in Java and its rule. So let's get started. In Java, an identifier is a name given to a variable, method, class or label. Identifiers are created by the programmer and are used to make the code more readable and understandable. Here are the rules and convention for creating identifiers in Java. So, rule number 1, the allowed characters in Java are capital A to Z, small a to Z, 0 to 9, underscore and dollar. And rule number 2, if we are using any other character than these characters, we will get compile time error. So this first one and this last one is invalid and this one is valid. Rule number 3, identifier must begins with a letter, uppercase or lowercase, underscore or dollar characters, but they can't begin with number in an identifiers. For example, this one is valid and this one is invalid. Identifiers can only contain letters uppercase or lowercase, numbers or the underscore and dollars characters. Special characters such as at the rate, percent are not allowed. This rule is necessary to avoid ambiguity and confusion. Java treats each characters in identifiers as a significant, and therefore special character can affect the behavior of the code. It is the best to use only letters, numbers and underscore to avoid this issue. So rule number 4, identifiers are case sensitive. For example, this Javalogist and this Javalogist would refers to different variable, and changing the case identifiers can affect the behavior of code. Talking about rule number 5, there is no length limit for Java identifiers, but it is not recommended to take more than 15 characters. Rule number 6, identifiers cannot be same as any Java reserve keyword such as if, while, class, public and so on. This rule is necessary because reserve keyword have special meaning in Java language and therefore they cannot be used as identifiers. Attempting to use a reserve keyword as an identifier will result in compile time error. Like this will result in compile time error. Identifier should be descriptive and meaningful. They should reflect the purpose of variable, method or class they are used to identify. This convention is not strictly enforced by Java language, but it is important principle of good programming style. Using meaningful and descriptive identifier can make the code more readable and understandable, and make it easier to maintain and modify in long run. Example of good identifiers, like if you want to store your age, then use age as an identifier. If you want to store your first name, then use first name as an identifier. Simple like this. And it is not a good practice to keep like X, Y, Z. That is not meaningful right now. And last rule, rule number 7, all predefined classes and interface name can be used as an identifier. I repeat, I said predefined class name and interface name are valid to use identifiers like strings, runnable. But remember, it is not a good programming practice. so don't use it. In summary, identifiers in Java are name given to variable, method, class and label. They must follow specific rules and convention to avoid errors and make the code more readable and understandable. Now we will see it practically. Let's come to IDE. In this series, we'll be using Eclipse IDE because it's free. So I don't want waste your money and most important time as well. So I am trying to keep concise video and I am not going to make video on JDK and Eclipse installation because there are n numbers of resources to guide you. You can get help from them. We will focus only on quality of content to improve your skill. Don't worry about this scary word that you are seeing on the screen and why it is used. We will discuss everything in this series. Why this public, static, void, main, string, as, everything we will see. Just ignore that at this moment. Now recollect all the rules related to identifiers and ask yourself which one valid or invalid. One by one we will see now. This one is valid because identifiers can start with underscore and dollar are both allowed. This is also allowed. Characters and dollar symbol is also allowed. This is also allowed because character numbers in between allowed because this follows the rule. Think about it. It is not allowed because at the rate symbol is not allowed. This is not allowed because we can't begin with the numbers. So this give error. This is also not allowed. This is allowed because we can't begins with number but at the end we can use the numbers. So this is allowed. This is also allowed because this is not a reserve word. So this is allowed. This is also allowed because this integer is a inbuilt class name. So this is also allowed. And this one is not allowed because this int is a reserve word. So this is not allowed. So this gives compile time error. You clearly understand what identifiers is. It's just a name for writing the variable names, methods name and class name. And to write it, we have to follow some set of rules that we have discussed. So that's it about today's video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video.